The Arranger track allows you to use a pattern structure in your projects, meaning that you can arrange and remix, changing the play order with patterns or blocks of data. Let's load up the project called 26, the Arranger track. When you add an Arranger track, you can define areas of your project with the Draw tool. It's good to have Snap-on when you do this. This creates Arranger parts. You can name these parts by renaming them in the info line. I'm going to rename them with the same names as my markers so I don't get confused. These parts can then be arranged to play in a particular order. This can be done in the inspector to the right. Make sure the inspector is turned on. The parts that you made are down here, and the current play order list is here. Drag and drop the parts from the bottom into the list. To get the verse to repeat twice, simply add it twice. You can also double-click at the bottom or in the project page to add the chorus to the list. If you hold down Alt while you double-click, you can change the name on the part. If you want to remove a part, right-click and choose Remove. You can change the number of times the verse plays by entering the number here. You're now able to play your project according to the play order list you've just made. It's good to make sure the Arranger controls are available to us. Right-click on the Transport panel and add Arranger. Activate Play Order and begin playback. Notice how the cursor jumps from each play order part according to the list. If you need to play from a specific part in the list, you can click on the triangle and press play, or use these arrows to guide you around. You can open the Arranger editor by clicking on the E here and create as many Arranger chains as you like. Having different Arranger chains lets you try out different versions or takes before committing to a final one. Rename the current play order by pressing this button. Add another chain or duplicate the current one so that you can make changes without starting from scratch. You can then switch between different Arranger chains to see which one is best. Press Remove to delete a chain. The counter tells you which repeat you are currently at when playing, which can also be seen on the Arranger track or on the transport. You may need to adjust the window so you can see the song time. This shows you the total time your Arranger chain takes to play out. You can also see the duration of each part. Once you are done making the perfect arrangement, you can turn your chain into one big song instead of playing it as a list of patterns. This is called flattening. Click the button to flatten your Arranger list. You might want to save a copy of your project so you have the original project with all your parts and the newly flattened project. You can click on the Flatten options and choose which chain you are going to flatten. Most of the time, you'll just pick the current chain you are working on, but you can pick from a list and choose just the chains you want or all chains, and it will flatten them all together. You can then decide if the newly flattened chain will be created in this project or into a new project. You can also pick the naming structure of that project. Then you have a few options. You can decide to keep or delete the Arrange track once you flatten it. It's good to keep it just in case you make a mistake or want to change your mind later. You can then choose to rename the Arranger parts. This will append numbers to the events according to their use. This makes sense when you see the final flattened project. Normally, you will get shared copies when flattening the Arranger track. If you activate this option, real copies will be created instead. Don't split events means that MIDI events that start before or are longer than the Arranger event will not be included. And finally, you can decide to open up the new project once you have flattened it. If you decided to make a new project as your destination and have it cascaded in the window, you can see the original project and the new flattened project. See how the parts have numbers after them now? This is because we checked Rename Arranger Parts. One last thing to talk about is that the Arranger can be used in a live situation. Click on the triangle here and the Arranger plays the part continuously. You can then switch parts in real time. When it's time to stop or make a quick break, you can decide in how many bars or beats it will take to stop. and then hit stop. That could be the end of the song, or just a quick break. And then you can bring it right back in. The Arranger track, now that's a powerful, cool feature.